Oh, here we go. Okay. Good afternoon. Yeah, I slept in a little bit. Anyway, it's like 2 in the afternoon here in snowing like hell, uh, Fitchburg, Mass. Um, they've been plowing since early this morning. I, yeah, basically, this is it. This is what you see when I wake up. It ain't pretty. Um, I had my therapist last night appointment and got back and relaxed a little bit on the couch, sofa or whatever. It's, um, and at some point, made myself a little something to munch. And the, between stress and the day and the time and the food, I just like out like a light. Woke up at like 5:30 a.m. to sound of plowing and figured, well, we did get that snow that we didn't have at like 8 or 9 last night when we were supposed to be getting snow. So we got it now. So it's like, okay. And I was going to do a video last night. I actually came up here and was dressed pretty, not in, although this is kind of nice. It's a t-shirt, but it's got like all the constellations, all the galaxy on it. It's cute. This is my one of my wrap cardigans, like a black print. Anyway, it's cute. It's warm. We're kind of like relaxing this morning. You know, it's just the t-shirt, the cargo skirt. Um, Nothing fancy. So what did you do yesterday, Nula, you ask? And as I mentioned, I was going to do a video last night, and that I apparently with all the stuff I was doing on the netbook. This is the netbook, city limits. Sorry. Um, with all the stuff I was doing, I had used up all. I kind of wondered why it was like freezing up when I'd leave it sit. Like, I'm like, what the hell? And then I went to do a video, and it's like, there's not enough room on here for your bullshit, girl. And I'm like, what? And it turned out I had filled the nearly filled the drive with a bunch of stuff. So we moved that on up to the server, which is sort of like this black hole repository up there. I don't know how many terabytes that sucker is. It's like bottomless. Although I wish it was petabytes, but what terabytes is cool. Alright, I'll deal with terabytes. So, yeah. So I was like disappointed, but it was dark here in the office, and then anyway, and I couldn't get a good clear picture for the videos. It was all fuzzy, you know. So I'm like, well, we'll do one in the morning. We'll just bide. And I just a little while ago I finished clear. I actually was up about I don't know 10:30 ish, but I've been dibbly dabbling, talking to people on Facebook and writing uh, in various groups that I participate in. Um, some deal with progressive politics, some deal with like antique equipment and vehicles and stuff. And totally random. Like my interests are like wide, really wide. I'm not like a narrow little track or one track. So, um, other than the what looks like a good foot of snow and it's still coming down, although it's well plowed now. They do a great job here. And the guy that drives the Bobcat is kind of cute. Um, anyway, I'm in a mood today. Deal. A NUALA nude. So, um, this is still not a serious video. Like, I intended to do these YouTube videos and get serious, and I haven't yet. I've been like, bouncing around. But we will, mark me. So, last night was kind of hectic, and couldn't raise my daughter to get a ride to therapy. So I said, well, she's probably in class or something, or she wasn't feeling good. So I'm like, either she's not feeling good or she's in class or something. So I gave it till 5:30 because my appointment's usually 6:15, but she said, I can see you earlier. I can see you at 6. So I'm like, okay. So by 5:30, because you got to wait for cabs. Around here, it ain't like cab is right there. It ain't like this cab's waiting at a cab stand like in the city. So they kind of randomly like throw one at you whenever. So they're like, yeah, we'll have a cab in a few minutes. I'm like, okay. And they finally showed up. Off we went. And I kind of had to show them where to go. They bebopped me down there and dropped me off. And I always tip decent. I tip a cab, a couple of bucks. Um, and apparently a lot of people don't tip at all, or they tip like 50 cents or something. I don't know. I figure, these people are working hard and they're working long hours. And if they're prompt and courteous and nice and stuff like that, and if I go and the guy shows up and he's got the car full of cigar smoke and he's belching and listening to hate radio and cursing on his cell phone, I might not tip him, but I mean, for the most part, they're really nice. The guys and gals that have picked me up. So we get there and I go in. I didn't have to wait too long, um, and Elisa opened the door and Maggie, the little therapy dog, came out. So it's like, hi Maggie, she's adorable. Oh, love that little dog. Anyway, haven't had anything to eat or drink yet today. Planning on going down and making a nice brunch. Um, yeah, so I talked to Maggie for a few minutes, and then it was my turn. I went in, a little achy, arthritis and stuff, but it was good. So we go, usually the session, so we start off, we just kind of catch up really quick, and then we go into like some of the clinical stuff, you know, deal with the nitty and the gritty, the stuff that really, gets me. You know, either emotion or, yeah, one emotion or another. And I don't know what that was. Little hiccup, little freeze there. I did some slow mo like moonwalk thing. At least on here. Anyway, maybe it'll iron out the video. I don't know. It was kind of like hesitating for a minute, like I was in a black light or something. I was having a '60s flashback, baby, of the Four Seasons nightclub on a Friday night. Ate the wrong mushrooms or something with the pizza. I don't know. Anyway, um, so no, I was a good kid. I didn't do that shit. Um, I hung out with a lot of people that did, but um, yeah. So then, and then usually like we kind of wrap up. Like when we get everything else accomplished, mission accomplished, and the session is sort of effectively over. Then we catch up on life, with each other, like what's going on and stuff, and talk about like just general stuff, which is always great. So that was nice. And then they said we'll send a cab. Took them like forever, which is usual, because it's a small cab company in Leominster, Ken's, and it takes them like forever to because they try and balance out their loads. So I get the guy, and he looked familiar, and I get in, and he says, "Where you going?" And I says, "Mallard Drive." And he's like, "What?" And I said, "Mallard Drive." And I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, I know you. I know where it is. I've had you, picked you up before, honey." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "You know where it." I'm like, "Yeah, you looked familiar too. He's nice. He plays nice music on the radio. Um, and he's like, "Is that window too much on you, hon? Do you want a little more heat or, very considerate." And so we're chit-chatting. I'm like, "It's gonna snow, huh?" He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get some more snow." And we're talking about weather patterns and you name it, having a good chat. And we had to go. He's like, "I gotta go." It came out in the story. He's telling me the story. So apparently the owner of the cab company also owns Natalie's Pizza. So we had to go to Natalie's Pizza. I just got to pick up something up the road. I'm like, okay. So he went in and took him a little bit. But I'm sitting in the cab. I'm listening to the radio. I'm warm. I'm comfortable. You know, I'm good. And he comes out with a pizza and a bunch of stuff, puts it in the cab, and that's when he was telling me that. So it took a good while. So we're driving, and I'm like, "Oh, that smells awful good." And he looks at me. He's like, "We better get this delivered because if we don't," he's like, "we're gonna be sharing this food." So I'm like, "Yeah." So we laughed. We went to this trailer park, and it dawned on me that, good grief, right? I go to make a video and I can't talk. So I hope I ain't coming down with what he had, because he had the same thing happen. He got like postnasal drip out of the way home. I thought I was gonna end up driving, right? He kind of freaked me out for a minute. I'm like, chill. So he's apologizing for the pizza taking so long as we're going up to the next set of lights, going back, going towards. He's like, "Don't worry." He said, "We'll get this." He says, "Take me a second to deliver this, and then we'll get you home." And I said, it's I'm not in any rush. It's not like there's anybody waiting at home, or there's no kids at home starving waiting for me to get back and make supper. There's no old man waiting for his, pipe and slippers or anything. It's just me. I'll go home, make myself a snack. And he's like, "What?" He's like, uh, he's like, "You're not in a hurry." He's like, "You don't have a hot date waiting?" And I'm like, No ring, honey. You know, maybe he was. I should. I thought of it. I should have said, "Why are you offering?" Right? Because he's nice and he's kind of easy on the eyes. I should have said, "Yeah, you offering?" But I said, "No, it's not tonight anyway." He said, "Oh, not tonight." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a quiet night, whatever." So we go to the trailer park, and I realize the trailer park. I'm like, the last time I was in this trailer park, I was riding in a '67 Pontiac Grand Prix, um, and it was with Jimmy and John, two mechanics at the garage. Jimmy was from Wales and was our like resident foreign car. Like nobody else wanted anything to do. It was one of those old, Yankee garages where nobody wanted anything to do with foreign cars, but we took everything in. So Jim was the one who got all the foreign stuff to work on because he didn't mind and he had trained in a lot of it, which was good because when I had my Jaguar, my '57 Jag, uh, I was intensely naive. Of course, I was like what 16, 17, but I was intensely naive about foreign cars. Disc brakes. Just how many like two or three American models had disc brakes in the front maybe by then. The Jaguar had four-wheel discs. It even had like emergency brake discs. It had electric starting carburetors. It had twin SU side draft carburation. It had a dual overhead cam engine, telescoping steering wheel. Um, the automatic transmission you checked through the floor in the driver's compartment. Um, what else? Oh, the battery, of course, is positive earth, not negative ground like us. So, so he's like, first thing, you have the battery in backwards. So I said, we have a lot to learn here. So basically, what I would do is like I would work for him while he did certain things, but then he would instruct me on the thing. And this was my whole shtick through the years was like, working for free or like assisting or staying beyond the time I was getting paid for in order to um, glean experience and instruction. And it paid off 1,000 times over throughout life in various fields of endeavor. Um, well, anyway, suffice to say, and John was going to Syracuse U, studying industrial design, and his family, him and his dad and his brother, they collected antique Buicks. And Jim and his mom used to live in the trailer park. And then when Jim got married, um, his wife moved in with them for a while. But that's when I knew that trailer park from. So, and the rest of it was kind of, we're coming up on the end here. So I'm going to kind of like condense. We had a nice ride home. We had a great conversation. He started coughing there. I'm like, take it easy. Pull over if you gotta. And he got me home. And he's nice. He always like waits with the lights on the door, make sure I get in the house. Some of them are like, psh, they're gone before I even get to the door. And we had a nice little, have a nice night and everything. It's good. So I had a good day. And it kind of picked things up from what had been. I was a little down for a bit, but it picked things up. So anyway, it's close to time for me to knock off the video here. It's really snowing. I'm planning on going down. I have this applewood smoked bacon that comes in a bag. It's like natural bacon. It's not all preservatives, sealed at a factory. It's like a really good bacon smoked in applewood that cooks up like smakuya. And I've got a big thing of fresh salsa, some fresh eggs, cheeses and things. I'm going to make some cheesy salsa eggs and some of the bacon. And I have, I think, still some like garlic herb loaf or rosemary loaf. So make some nice toast. It should be pretty good. Make an omelet or something. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Sometimes I say, I'm going to do this, and I get downstairs and I see something else, and I'm like, I think I'll do that instead. You know. So unless I promise somebody, like, if I was like living with somebody and I promised them like, burgers and fries for supper, then I'd make burgers and fries. If I hadn't promised, it's like when you get home, you'll find out what's for supper. Because it's gonna be like, oh, I think I was gonna make chicken, but I think I'll just make a roast of pork. You know. Spontaneity. Spontaneity, girl. All right, almost done. Toodles. Uh, Ciao for now. And NUALA over and out. I believe this is video 10. We're gonna call it 10 because 10 was kind of like a video 10. It'll be on YouTube sometime today, whenever it decides to upload. Ciao for now.